NBC 39 News at 10 is brought to you by Physicians Quality Care, where we treat you like family. 2 locations, open 7 days a week. Now, from your hometown news team in the heart of downtown Jackson, this is NBC 39 News at 10.
Good evening and thank you for tuning in to NBC 39 News. I'm Meredith Mitchell. Josh has the night off. With the 4th of July just a week away, fireworks stands are popping up across West Tennessee, but local fire departments are asking residents to be cautious this holiday season. NBC 39's Jackson Overstreet has more on how you can stay safe while using fireworks.
Fireworks play an integral part of Independence Day celebrations across the U.S. Here in Madison County and the city of Jackson, though, it is illegal to buy, sell, or launch fireworks.
A lot of people think, there's no danger associated with them, which is absolutely not true. When you light them off, they're going to go wherever they decide they're going to go.
For those of you who live in counties that allow fireworks, Madison County Fire says that you need to be aware of your surroundings.
Make sure that you have plenty of room from your audiences or houses, structures, that you're out in the open field, and just use good common sense.
Unlike in Madison County, here in Lexington and Henderson County, fireworks are legal. So the fire department here asks that if you do plan on launching your own fireworks during the holiday week, to make sure to keep an eye on any children who are around you.
If you've got children, small children, never let them handle them, mess with them in any way. Even when we get into some of our older children, teenagers, they need to be strictly supervised by an adult.
Wallace says that if any of your fireworks fail to go off, it is best to leave them alone before disposing of them.
There's a reason those things are not going and working like they're properly designed to. Never try to relight a dud. Let it set for 20, 30 minutes. Soak all of them in a bucket of water before you discard them.
For NBC 39 News, I'm Jackson Overstreet.
Now, your first weather.
And looking like some hot and humid weather in the forecast here the next several days. Heat advisory in effect for our Thursday till about 8 o'clock in the evening for all these areas shaded here in the orange color, including Jackson and Madison County. Now, areas just to our north, as of right now, not included in the heat advisory, but I wouldn't be surprised to see these counties added as we get into the day on our Thursday, as our temperatures are going to get into low to mid 90s for forecasted highs, but it's that feel like temperature from 105 to maybe as high as 115 degrees when you put temperature and dew point together across the area. Now, make sure you check on your pets, especially if they're outdoors. Also, elderly, check on them. And if you can, just stay indoors if possible and find that AC as much as you can as well. Take a look then at what we can expect to see as far as temperatures go the next couple of days. Looking for highs in the low to mid 90s, about 94 degrees expected high on Friday, but that heat index value from about 104 to maybe as high as 106, maybe 108 is what it will feel like when you step outdoors here the next several days. So it looks like the summer sizzle is definitely back on around West Tennessee. Here's your forecast for your Thursday, 78 to start. So a mild and muggy day across much of the area, up to near 90 by 5 o'clock. Looking for a high temperature reaching 93 by Thursday afternoon. We'll talk more about the heat and humidity, see how long it's going to last, and if it will last into early next week. We'll do that with your hometown forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Chris. Elections are coming up, and that means if you're not yet registered to vote, you only have a couple more days before the deadline. The last day to register to vote is next Tuesday, July 3rd. There are currently more than 57,000 registered voters in Madison County. Registering early is important as we approach the early voting period that starts on July 13th. Administrator of Elections tells us why the community should participate in voting in both the primary and general election.
It's important to register to vote, to become a part of your community, to be a responsible citizen, to help make decisions that affect your government, that affect your lifestyle, that affect the way your children are educated. There's so many things, and it's so important, especially in a local election where you really do have a much greater voice.
You can go to the elections office from 9 until 4 p.m., or you can just do it online at MadisonElections.com. Well, if you see something like a roof falling in or deterioration on a building, you might want to get it fixed before it's demolished. NBC 39's Camila Reda takes us to Milan, where buildings are being revitalized.
Buildings in Milan are seeing their last days as the city strives to clear out all the ones that violate the slum clearance ordinance. Brian Cockrell, vice president of Fisher Construction, is neighbors with one of the condemned structures.
Over the years, it had dilapidated, probably housed some things that we didn't want in there, stray animals. There were people in and out of it all the time that probably shouldn't be there. So it was good to see it go.
The city is averaging about 3 to 5 demolished buildings a month.
Where I'm currently standing used to be a consignment shop that was demolished as a part of Mayor Beasley's downtown revitalization program.
This pursuit is a part of the mayor's plan to make the city more attractive for potential industry and new residents. Slum buildings are usually brought to attention by residents in the neighborhood, but if you notice a property management issue, building official Jim Pillow recommends getting it fixed right away before it gets worse.
People do not intend for their properties to get in that kind of shape. The roof gets in bad shape, they think, well, my money's tight, I'll put a roof on it next year. Well, then the next year becomes the next year, and then all of a sudden, at some point, it becomes where it can't be fixed.
He says they would much rather help property owners rehabilitate their building instead. The ownership of the land is retained by the property owner, and the city hopes to see new structures brought to life. From Milan, for NBC 39 News, I'm Camila Rueda.
The Jackson Rotary Club honored one of its very own this afternoon. The group uses today's meeting to honor one of their longest-serving current members and former head of what is now Jackson Energy Authority, Joe Exum. Exum was surprised by family and former co-workers, as well as gifted a key to the city from Mayor Jerry Geist. Exum says he greatly appreciates the recognition from his friends and family and that he has gotten to the points in his life by keeping things simple.
Well, I've enjoyed life. I enjoyed Jackson. I enjoy being here. And every bit of it is just icing on the cake because I haven't done it for any good reason other than just to enjoy it.
Exum has been a member of the Rotary Club since 1956. The Jackson Rotary Club also donated to Hollywood Cemetery, which Exum has been involved with for many years in his honor. Well, the price of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey will increase about 10% in the European Union. It's a result of the bloc's new 25% tariff. The EU is taxing a number of U.S. imports like whiskey, motorcycles, and jeans in response to President Donald Trump's decision to slap tariffs on European steel and aluminum. The price increase for the whiskey will take effect over the next couple of months. And the number of robocalls continue to soar as the FCC ramps up efforts to crack down on the problem. In May, robocalls shattered an all-time record with more than 4 billion calls placed to American consumers. That is a 40% increase since the beginning of the year, and more than a quarter of those calls were scams. Travel scams are the hot robocall of the moment, increasing by 162% in the last 2 months. Experts warn consumers to be vigilant when it comes to giving out any of your personal information. Well, we all experience changes in our bodies as we age. We may feel more tired or maybe dealing with brain fog. Could it be our hormones to blame? And could a pellet smaller than a grain of rice make us feel young again? Bianca Castro reports.
At 40-something, Carolyn Wilson is hardly old. But the busy mom of two says despite eating healthy and exercising, her body just wasn't working like it used to.
You shouldn't be going to bed at 8:30 and then taking naps throughout the day. And then, when I would go somewhere, I was exhausted. I'd go to the park, I'd come home, and I'm like, I need to sit down. I mean, if that's aging, that's downright depressing.
Her fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, and night sweats lasted for 8 years until blood work showed her hormones were out of whack. So she went to Regenesis Physical Medicine for pellet therapy. Bioidentical hormone pellets are a form of hormone replacement therapy said to be more natural than the synthetic hormone pills that have been used for decades. Once developed from yams and soy, the pellets are now created in a lab to match the same chemical makeup of the hormones in our body. In this procedure, a medical professional makes a tiny cut on the patient's backside and inserts the pellet customized to that patient's needs. In Carolyn's case, she needed more testosterone.
I was so deficient that within a few days I noticed a difference. And the difference that I noticed was that I was able to stay awake and I didn't have to sit down after cleaning my kitchen.
Specialists say our hormone levels peak in our late 20s and early 30s. From there, they fluctuate, and not just in women.
Men have more testosterone than women, so they even have more symptoms. They just don't recognize it.
8 years ago, you thought this was
Voodoo.
voodoo.
That's right, because I was uninformed.
Dr. Bryant Herzog is a hormone specialist. He says many independent studies find bioidentical hormone replacement therapy is safe, but it is not FDA approved. In fact, the FDA says it doesn't have evidence it's safer or more effective than other hormone products. Still, Carolyn says it's changed her life.
The best thing is that I'm positive again. I'm happier.
And now she feels her age again.
A pellet procedure costs anywhere from $400 to $800, and its effects can last 4 months. Side effects may include slight bruising, minor bleeding, infection, or intrusion of the pellets. Well, the patriarch of one of the most famous families in entertainment has lost his battle with cancer. Joe Jackson died early this morning at the age of 89. Jackson, who lived in Las Vegas and had been estranged from much of his family, had been suffering from cancer, according to media reports. He was born in Fountain Hill, Arkansas in 1928. Jackson struggled with health issues in recent years, suffering from at least 2 strokes. Well, still to come on NBC 39 News live at 10, one of the longest serving Supreme Court justices announces his retirement. What this means for the Supreme Court and how it could impact future Supreme Court decisions.
And heat advisory in effect for much of West Tennessee as we head into our Thursday. Temperatures like we saw today in the low to mid 90s, but that heat index value could be into the triple digits, could be pushing 105 as we head to Thursday afternoon. We'll talk more about that straight ahead.